Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, a fan of Alien Earth, hit that subscribe button. I talk about it and discuss it with you all on the channel. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you a fan of Alien Earth? And what are your overall thoughts of Nibs? Because I'm going to be talking about Nibs today. This is someone who I have not been giving enough respect to in this series. It's a character that stays there and kind of lingers in the darkness. And a couple weeks ago, she announced that she was pregos, and I was wondering, how is that even possible? Could it be possible? And I've seen a lot of people reach out and message me about this, and I decided to do this video today about, is Nibs actually prego or not? I have a few ideas as to what it could be, what it could mean, and how it could ultimately factor in to Alien Earth itself and where we're going from here. Now, episode 6, The Fly, releases on Tuesday. I'll have more videos and preview shows leading up to that release in the time. But for today, I want to talk about Nibs. And is she really pregnant? What is up with Nibs? The truth about Nibs is far darker and more complicated than the series first let on, and her strange insistence that she's pregnant has quickly become one of the most crazy mysteries in Alien Earth. At the center of the storyline is a hybrid who has spiraled from curiosity into instability, forcing both her creators and us to question whether what she's experiencing is biological, psychological, or something entirely alien. By the end of episode 4, Nibs declares that she's carrying a child, a claim so shocking that even Dame Sylvia, the matriarch of the Prodigy Project, is rattled. But the deeper truth may not be that she's actually pregnant. It's why she thinks she is. To understand what, we have to dig into her hybrid nature, her trauma, and the unsettling hints dropped in the trailer for episode 6, The Fly. Nibs was never a normal hybrid to begin with. She represents one of Prodigy's boldest and most dangerous experiments, taking the consciousness of terminally ill children and transplanting them into the synthetic adult-sized bodies. That experiment was always going to carry risks. Unlike Wendy, who has emerged as Prodigy's shining example by connecting with the Xenomorph species in ways no one expected, Nibs has gone the opposite route. Her trajectory is the cautionary tale, the shadow side of hybridization. And her descent into instability has forced Prodigy to label her a level 3 threat and lock her down. She's the first hybrid to truly rebel against her creators, but rebellion isn't what makes her terrifying. It's the conviction with which she says, "I'm pregnant." Now, in the alien universe, pregnancy has never been a good thing. From chest bursters to experimental embryos, the word itself is a harbinger of horror. So when Nibs claims this, we can't help but wonder, is it possible she's been implanted with something alien? In episode 2, she had a direct encounter with the Eye Monster, a horrifying creature that burrows into the eyes of its victims and can override their nervous system. While she escaped with her life, the trauma of that moment has left her obsessed with her eyes, often clutching at them as though something foreign still lingers inside. This encounter might have been more invasive than it appeared. The Eye Monster may have left behind something in her system, not a full organism, but enough to alter her perception of her own body. Could her body be interpreting this as a pregnancy? Or worse, could she actually be incubating something alien without even realizing it? Another explanation could be, it's just a simple hybrid malfunction. Nibs' consciousness, once human, is now forced to reconcile with an artificial body laced with alien enhancements. That combination was never going to be perfect. Unlike Wendy, who found a way to merge with her new identity, Nibs seems to be tearing apart from the inside. Her mind still operates under human instincts, things like reproduction, fear, and trauma, but her body is synthetic and unstable. The mismatch creates phantom sensations, glitches that her psyche interprets as something it understands: pregnancy. It isn't literal. It's her brain grasping for a framework to explain why she feels different, why she feels invaded, why she feels like something is growing inside of her when nothing truly is. And when you add that trauma of her encounter with the Eye Monster on top of that, the result is a mind that can no longer distinguish between delusion and reality. But there's also a third layer here: symbolic transformation. In Alien Earth episode 3 titled Metamorphosis, the theme of identity shifts and personal transformation was heavily emphasized. Nibs insisting she's pregnant could be a metaphor her fractured mind is using to describe the birth of a new self. What she's carrying may not be an alien embryo or a child at all, but a darker, more dominant persona rising from within. This is where she becomes the anti-Wendy. While Wendy bonds with the alien and grows stronger, Nibs collapses under the weight of her trauma and begins to fracture. Her pregnancy could be the symbolic rebirth of a more dangerous version of herself, one that no longer obeys Dame Sylvia or the Prodigy Corporation. The psychological element cannot be overlooked. Nibs is suffering from severe PTSD. The eye monster's attack was invasive, terrifying, and destabilizing, and it's clear she has not recovered. Her fixation on her eyes and her violent lashing out at Dame Sylvia all point to deep trauma. For someone already struggling to reconcile a human mind with a synthetic body, this trauma becomes amplified. Instead of processing it, her psyche externalizes the fear in the form of pregnancy. The idea that something foreign is growing inside her, taking her over, robbing her of control. In other words, pregnancy becomes a metaphor for her helplessness. She isn't actually carrying a child, but she feels like she's carrying the weight of violation, trauma, and corruption. That brings us to episode 6, The Fly, and more specifically, the trailer. In it, Dame Sylvia ominously claims that one of the hybrids has suffered a malfunction. The editing would make it appear that she's referring to Wendy, boy a cavalier's favorite. But trailers are designed to mislead. And given everything we've seen from Nibs, all signs point to her being the true malfunction. Her behavior has crossed the line from eccentric to dangerous. She's been locked down. She's already declared a pregnancy that cannot be real, and she has become a liability that threatens the secrecy of the entire Prodigy Project. Wendy may be the red herring, but Nibs is the real problem Sylvia is worried about. If she is the malfunction, the question becomes, how will Prodigy deal with her? Termination? Reprogramming? Or something even darker? Nibs' arc could be terrifying, not just because of what might be happening to her body, but because of what it reveals about the Prodigy Project itself. The hybrids are supposed to be humanity's breakthrough, proof that consciousness can survive death, that human beings can merge with synthetic life to achieve immortality. Wendy represents the promise of that vision. Nibs represents the nightmare. If she is deemed unfit, if she is eliminated, it confirms the darkest suspicions about what Prodigy is willing to do to cover up a failure. And it raises the larger question, is the project creating life or manufacturing monsters? So why does Nibs think she's pregnant? The truth likely lies in a mix of all three factors: trauma from the eye monster attack, phantom sensations from hybrid malfunction, and a fractured psyche trying to conceptualize its own loss of control. The show is deliberately ambiguous, refusing to give us a clear answer, because ambiguity itself is what makes Alien Earth so unsettling. By leaving us in the dark, it forces us to sit with the horror of not knowing what's real, just like Nibs herself. All in all, Nibs' pregnancy is less about whether or not she's actually carrying life and more about what it symbolizes: fear, violation, transformation, and rebellion. She's not just a malfunctioning hybrid, she's a mirror held up to the entire experiment, a reminder that playing with identity, biology, and consciousness can lead to outcomes no one can control. Whether her storyline ends in death, rebirth, or revelation, Nibs has already secured her place as one of the most intriguing and disturbing characters in Alien Earth. Those are my thoughts on the Nibs pregnancy. I don't think she's actually pregnant. I don't think she actually could be pregnant. You know, she's a synthetic, like she has a synthetic body. It's not possible. But in the Alien universe, I guess anything is and could be possible. But this is a character who's been suffering from PTSD for quite some time. You saw her a few weeks ago touching her eye. She's obsessed with her eye, obsessing over the choice that has been made. You know, she doesn't like her name. She's very confused. She's not in good headspace, whatever that means for a hybrid synthetic with the soul or with the mind of a child, whatever it is. And again, Noah Halia said that one of the mysteries of this is, are these AI or do these actually carry the minds and memories? So those are my thoughts on Nibs and Nibs' pregnancy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think she's actually pregos, or do you think it's something else entirely? Is it something I suggest in the video, or do you have your own theories on Nibs' pregnancy? Let me know in the comments down below. I read and reply to all of them. And right now, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and until next time, may be the master of your own universe.